Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Peace Talks. This is a series where we catch up with the bands and artists that are coming to perform for us at the Marr's Bar for Music Spoken Here. And today I'm joined by Clement Regert from Wildcard, the band leader of Wildcard. My French, O-level French is pretty poor, but I hope I got the pronunciation correct there. I love the way that spell checker and Google search always tries to change your name to Regret. Which is a thing I'm sure you've had to live with for a long time.
Yeah, for the last 18 years, I've been called Regret, Ragged. Well, I'm not too precious about my name, so that's absolutely fine. It's actually Regert. We don't say ge, we say je in French, but
There we go.
really no big deal. I really don't get offended. Even my first name, Clement, which is pretty, I would say, bog standards, even in the UK, it's like you would be surprised, like the amount of pronunciation and spelling I had for Clements. I had some Clemeno, Claremont, all sort of things. So I'm really not bothered. That's fine. Absolutely not precious about it.
Fantastic. So we certainly have no regrets of you joining us today and next week on Thursday. So yeah, Wildcard will be playing for us at the Marr's Bar on Thursday, the 3rd of October. That's this coming Thursday. So thanks very much for joining us today. So we want to sort of find out a little bit more about yourself and also Wildcard and the kind of stuff you'll be playing. So yeah, let's start with yourself. So you're originally from Paris, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. Grew up in Paris and moved to London in 2005. So it's coming up to, gosh, nearly 20 years.
Wow.
You know, when you start throwing decades like that, I know I'm aware of it. I sound like I'm straight off the boat. And the accent never left. But yeah, no, I've been here like nearly 20 years. I'm actually like both French and British now citizen. So yeah, I'm from Paris originally, moved there like 20 years, nearly 20 years ago. Love the UK, especially London. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So about my nationality background, that's where I'm from.
Fantastic. And so you're obviously the guitarist and band leader for Wildcard. Also Gab Trio as well. I saw you down in at the Cheltenham Festival
Yeah.
this year with Steve Taylor, who came up with his Fusion Few. That was a fantastic night back in May. So he played for us. So he's
You know what's funny? You mentioned that is like two nights. I'm playing with Steve in the wildcard band because Sophie again for Sophie can't make the gig tonight. And Sophie is Steve that I played in swing bands with him as a drummer. He's my co-band member in the Gap Trio when he plays percussion. So tonight for the first time he's going to be playing a wildcard gig with Chris and I on drums. So yeah, Steve is definitely in the scene everywhere. He's a very capable man.
fantastic. Yeah, we really enjoyed that gig. He played up for us in May. And you're also you're involved with Spice Jazz over in Soho. It's a venue I've not got down to yet, but I've seen lots of videos of many of the bands that we booked have played down there. So yeah, Spice Jazz. So that's every Wednesday, I think those events are.
You're right. It is every Wednesday at 9:15, and we relocated in when was it? April. We've been like our operation were based in the Spice of Life pub in Cambridge Circus in Soho as well, like for the last 25 years, I think. Yeah, 25 years. And yes, we changed venue and went to a slightly more upmarket venue and started to present our music nights on the jazz nights on the Wednesday at 9:15 at Crazy Cops, literally like an off Piccadilly Circus tube station, which is pretty cool. So we've been like happily presenting live music over there since the 3rd of April this year over there.
Excellent. And I was looking. You seem to have turned things around and certainly got things going. A consecutive, was it about 16 consecutive sold out shows down there? So you're doing
Actually,
something there.
actually, it was 18. It was
18, there you go.
2023, yeah, and yeah, we had one act who was actually not bad at all, and but not sold out. So suddenly that did break the dynamic. But yeah, no, it was a following basically following and including the London Jazz Festival 2023. So the last one basically. And yeah, and pretty much like 14 or 15, 16 sellouts as well in a row, like in 2022. So yeah, it's been going well. It's been going well.
Excellent. I need to. We'll have to catch up on some tips when when you're over. We'll compare notes on how we're luring people into this wonderful music.
Well, to be honest with you, it's always up and down. I don't want to be bragging and just be misleading people either. It's like that because when you say that, it gives the impression to the audience and people that they don't need to come because they can come to another one, whatever. I mean, we do need audience to gigs because there are always those nights which is there's no rules. I mean, you are running nights yourself. There's no rules. Sometimes you have a great act. Sometimes it just takes like a bad weather or to have a cold weather, or sometimes you don't know. I mean, sometimes we have band booked which are awesome and usually sells really well, and suddenly nothing, and then you end up with like a third of a room full. So there's no rule. So I always say to people, when you feel like going out to a live gig, always do it. And it's
Yeah,
like the gym. It's like the gym. You never want to go, but you come back, you always feel better after you've done it. So.
indeed.
Or I like
Yeah,
to say that analogy with the pub as well. So in my case, that's more the pub than the gym, but don't want to go out and actually you come back, you're like, actually, that was cool. So
yeah, yeah. There's never a bad night of live music so far.
no, because I wouldn't even go further. Even when you see a bad gig, it happens rarely, not at Spice Jazz or at Music Spoken here, of course. But when you go and see what I consider to be like a boring or bad live event, you can at least like come home with some lessons to be learned. You
Hmm.
know what not to do, or at least you take something like, oh, that tune was. There's always something to take home, always.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's talk about your sort of musical background then, and
Mhm.
kind of how you got into guitar. Has it always been guitar?
Yeah, yeah. No, I did play a fair bit of bass guitar, but it's like still within the same family of string instruments. And no, I would have loved if I didn't play guitar. I remember like contemplating the idea of playing. I would have played like horns, like a trombone, so excuse me, trombone or trumpet, one of the two. I really love those two instruments. Yeah, no, otherwise guitar all the time. Yeah, since been very small. Not that I'm tall now, still look pretty fairly small, but I was really, really small. I was like 7, I think, when I started. Yeah, 7 when I started.
Okay, how did it start for you? Was it through school or something?
No, at all. I mean, French music education is very poor. It's much better in the UK. I
Oh,
know
okay.
you guys love to. I mean, I do teach the guitar in schools like nearly 4 days a week, so I can talk about that. It's like Brits love, if I not love, but tend to always complain about the lack of funding and the difficulties for music education, especially in the States school system. Great, but you should go in France is really not great. No, so that was definitely not. Sorry, somebody's again at the door. Definitely not through school. That was because I like to tell a story quite often on the mic when I do a show. 6 year olds, my parents were watching the news. I was playing with whatever I was playing when I was 6 in the lounge on the floor, and suddenly I can hear some music that really really make me stop in my track and just look at the TV. And I could see that guy like dancing like crazy, and there was that girl with like the hair in the like literally like blonde hair, like huge blonde hair with electric guitar doing some rock.
Mhm.
And basically that was Michael Jackson. And I stood up and I said like that's what I want to do later. So thanks, good old Michael. That was Jennifer Batten on guitar, obviously. And yeah, so we went to the local conservatoire. France being what it is at the time is better now, but I had to do 1 year of solfège, which is like music notation reading for a whole year before I could touch an instrument, which was pretty boring, but didn't put me off. So, and then started guitar when I was 7. There you go.
Ah,
And
cool.
the rest
So
is history.
and kind of when did the band start? And when was it, what was the sort of musical direction and influences?
Okay, the band started in 2011, 7th of September, in a pub in Finchley. Yeah, Finchley, that's it. in London, not too far from where I am now. And at that residence, at the time, now it seems like a long time ago, but 2012, up to, I would say up to 2014, 15, there was lots of live music in pubs. I know in back up north, they still do it. They still do it, but like definitely in London, all those like worksman club, social gathering spaces, pubs for sure.
Mm.
They used to all have at least like once a week a live music night. Sometimes jazz, sometimes ska, sometimes funk. Anyway, so we had like at the time like I had like a 3 or 4 residencies like that one, and I wanted to try out. I was playing most of the time like either quartet with horns and guitar, sometimes with a keyboard. I wanted to try out. I always like that Hammond organ settings. I
Mm.
wanted to try it. I tried with a couple of other Hammond organ player, same with drummer, and one day we clicked. It was I booked Sophie and Andrew Noble, Australian Hammond organ, like the OG Hammond organ player with Wildcard, and it clicked. I mean, we had so much fun. All the tunes were flowing. The dynamics were like happening just with one look. Obviously, we developed that, and it got even better. But yeah, that's what happened with Marr usually. It's like you have that alchemy like happening. And that was it. That was a pub gig, and then we had like many residencies and played many gigs all across Europe and the UK since then. But that's where it came from. And I was really big. I was really big on. You were talking about influences. Sorry, I'm speaking a lot, but that's
Oh, you carry on.
like. I was always really big. I always like jazz, like swing, traditional,
Mhm.
like art bop. Art bop is my favorite period of the what's so-called traditional jazz. So art bop, like 60s, like really strong tunes, hard swinging jazz. But growing up in Paris and having done my music college in the 18th district, like near Barbès, which is a very mixed area. I was always really big on Brazilian from my guitar teacher when I grew up.
Mhm.
Brazilian music, like massive fan of Baden Powell, Hermeto Pascoal, and the like, and also West African music
Okay.
um, because of all the Senegalese, Malians, Burkina Faso, like influences in Paris.
Mm.
So I wanted to um, basically bring all that love for all those world music, so-called, but of all different genre and different groups. And I remember saying to Sophie, especially for the Brazilian and samba group, I was always really big on samba. And all drummers tend to play, even the really good ones, they tend to play what I call jazz samba, with like a lot of rides and
Mm.
basically in a jazz way. I don't like it. For samba, I want to have a proper like a samba jazz drummer, the samba drummer. So that's a different kind of feel and approach about it. So basically, I was like, let's play some samba, some jazz, Afro jazz, as we say, like a groove,
Mhm.
but properly. And that's what we've done. And that was quite undone at the time. And there's lots of like the Nigel Cross Trio. It's one of those like great.
Yeah.
There was a resurrection of like all those Hammond organ trio, like suddenly, like just before the pandemic, like the like 6, 7 years. But I don't think many were doing that many like West African and samba groove, which I think was a bit like our signature. That was a long
Cool.
answer for your question. There you go.
Ah,
Sorry.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Has he got 6 albums out now, haven't you? I think since he started.
5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5, 6. You're right. Oh wow,
There
time
you
flies.
go. Most
Yeah,
recent of those was Cabin 19 Fever, which
correct.
would anyone would guess that was the lockdown album there.
It was definitely a play of word, as you understood. It was a play of word for being the C19 virus and being cabin fever. Yeah, that was the as you said, that's the most recent one. Basically, I'm really proud of that album. Why? We all arrived in lockdown. I started to I was doing like an entire day teaching in front of a screen, which I absolutely hated because I like to speak to people.
Mm.
I think I was not the only one. And suddenly I realized that there was no live music. I missed it. I missed seeing it. I missed organizing it. That's when I started Spy Jazz. So that was during the lockdown. It was my pet project who
Mm.
took over my life completely. And more importantly, I realized also that there was a card to be played. all those big names in the US and the UK, everywhere, suddenly they were stranded at home, not being
Mm.
able to fly, to tour, to do anything. So I contacted all my favorite musicians. I'm not going to give you all the names because some are like so, but you don't ask,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't get. So I mean, everybody. And I ended up to have some people who were like for a very reasonable fee interested in doing some remote recording. So I always have some tunes in the bag because I find like writing tunes quite easy. So, and I did basically record with like uh, Marcus Strickland. That one was the big hit. We did two with Marcus Strickland on the album. Charlie Porter, which is also a Grammy Award winner, but not so well known, but like a Grammy Award winner, both classical and jazz world, but fantastic trumpeter. Mobetta Brown, which I knew of and used to listen to his album in a loop. He had a Grammy Award as well for playing on with Tedeschi and Truck bands. Yeah, who else? So anyway, so we have 14 guests on the album. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I was looking for you because you had Imani on one of the tracks as well.
Imani was singing.
Snowboy
We
you
have
had on
Trevor Myers on trombone. Graham Flowers again on trumpet is always my first call.
yeah, yeah. He played that.
Baker Golding, my good
Yeah.
friend Baker, which I'm playing with tonight actually. Baker
Yes.
on sax. Who was the other on sax? I can't remember.
Paul Booth as well you had on that album,
Oh
wasn't
yeah, Paul
it? Yeah,
Booth.
Paul's played with us. Yeah,
Paul
it's
is a
coming back. It's coming
Paul is
back
a
with
really good
Trevor
friend.
Myers actually in Triple in January. Up to play
Yeah,
with Trevor.
I did play. I did two gigs with Wildcard with like Trevor is a good friend as well. So, but I
Yeah,
did two gigs with Trevor and Paul as the horn section, and it's really funny when you actually it's your own band, but you're just literally following because those guys are like they're like a machines. Like they were going the energy, the laughter, the that was unbelievable. Those two together are like two peas in a pod. It's like that was really funny. Now Paul Booth is still one of my favorite saxophone player worldwide. Shortly, he's unbelievable. Anyway, so Kevin 19 Fever started off like that with one, two, three, and then five tracks, and suddenly we had like seven tracks, and we did record three more live altogether in the studio, the same studio we've been recording like all the albums down the road. And we had 10 tracks, 14 guests, and launched it at the Royal Albert Hall. So that was a success story. Nice.
fantastic. So go out and have a listen to that. It's on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. Give it a buy as well. Bandcamp, is it on Bandcamp? I usually go to Bandcamp.
You know what? I'm late on that one. I'm not on Bandcamp.
Ah, okay.
I'm not against it. I think it's a great idea, but yeah, I spent already like way too long like on the computer, like setting up and doing the social media and the website for Spice Jazz of the Rails
No
and
problem.
I'm kind of on VR studio as well.
Yeah, yeah. Will you be bringing CDs down with you?
Yes, I
Yeah,
will. I
cool.
will
There you go. So
definitely.
you'll have an opportunity to buy it. Anyone watching, if you've not heard that, it's a great album. So for the gig on Thursday, we've got it's just a trio playing
Yeah.
in that format. So just talk us through who we got in the band there because it's slightly
Alors,
different lineup.
yes and no. First of all, when you say he's going to be in a trio, like most of the gigs we play nowadays are in trio formula. If we don't, usually it's like even when we went Cheltenham, we went trio as well.
Yeah,
When we have like the horn section, is as I explained to you, it's like I don't really do the kind of quartet like one horn only. It doesn't
yeah,
really put that setup. So it's either like horn section or trio, and I don't think one is worse or better than the other. It's two different experience. Like the horns brings like a different layers of again dynamics and different colors of improvisation. But in trio, we have that ability to break the forms and be more free as well. So I think in
yeah,
terms of like it's usually more stuff more unexpected tend to happen in trio than quintet. So I like both, but it's very different experiences. In terms of lineup, you mentioned it's a bit different. Yes, it is. Chris and I, so Chris Blunt
yeah,
is the Hammond organ player. He replaced Andy like a while ago. Still in good term with Andy. Play basically when Chris come do the gig, I call Andy because obviously we played together really, really well. But he got so busy that yeah, we had basically switched who had the chair. And Chris is the Hammond organ player in Wildcard. And on drums, it's not Sophie, as I said. It's like this week. It's like even those couple of weeks, like it's a no go for her gigging
Yeah.
with me, obviously, and other people. But we have Filippo Galli, which is like one of the busiest drummer in the London jazz scene at the moment. He's so versatile. We've played with Chris. He basically like filled in for Sophie like already a couple of times, so he knows the drill. And more importantly, Filippo and Chris play together in Chris's band called Glib,
Okay.
which is a fantastic band as well. Definitely fusion, kind of like jazz fusion band. And they play in many other like projects as well. So yeah, it's one of those where those two know each other. Chris and I know each other really, really well. So it feels so natural to actually play the three of us together. So it's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be super fun.
Indeed, and that's all the feedback and everything from everyone who's written about any gigs that they've been to. I th some of the people that are coming down Thursday will have seen you down at the Cheltenham Jazz Festival. We played the Bottle of Sauce
That was fun.
earlier
That was a
this
really
year.
fun one.
But yeah, so for anyone who's not seen the band before or heard the listened to any of the albums, can you give us a quick sort of summary of kind of what to expect?
What for Thursday?
Yeah, the music that you'll be
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. But Thursday, I mean, it's always the same mantra, the same modus operandi. Strong tunes, always strong tunes. If you can't, my idea is always the same. If you can't sing the tune, it's not a tune.
Okay.
So many people will disagree with that, but that's my opinion. So strong catchy tunes, lots of different grooves. As I said before, I love hard like a hard grooving funk, definitely a swinging harmon organ, like a classic hard bop swinging vibe with a harmon organ. Lots of Afro samba, so lots of original and yeah, original music. And also we have something I like to do, which I do with the Gap Trio quite a lot. I love to play some reworked pop tune because I like pop tunes. I was
Right.
mentioning Michael Jackson before. I don't think I'm gonna play that one, but I just I just did a rearm from a Nelly Furtado pop tune, like my daughter is listening to it, so I like
Okay.
it. I'm like, okay, let's jazzify it. So yeah, some rework pop tunes, Afro samba numbers, couple of funky ones, and yeah, and some swinging ones. So it's gonna be fun, definitely.
Yeah, definitely a band to see live. So please do come on down on Thursday. Really looking forward to having the band up, Clement. And yeah, see you on Thursday. Safe trip up.
Thank you very much. See you on Thursday. Can't wait. See you then.